Okay, we got a battle against the TheDoomlord86. This is just a standard OU battle. I don't want to do that. It's like some next British thing. So I with the Bork, he leads with a Weavile, and I'm just gonna U-turn because I figured he'd fake out or whatever, and to work. Well, yeah, I'm just gonna U-turn because I can. Why not? Just to break its sash if it has one. So he goes for the safe Ice Punch, and that's not gonna do anything to Registeel because Registeel is a fucking god. Like, look, that just does nothing. So it switches out, which tells me he's banded because most Weaviles carry the Brick Break, and I go for the Thunder Wave on the switch, and he goes for a Hitmonlee, which is a smart move on his play because it has Limber, which I didn't even know existed. I was like, wait, what? It doesn't, what? So I go back into Bork because the Bork is like completely indestructible, and he gets a crit on the close combat, which kind of mattered, but not really. So I'm just gonna go for the Roost now because I figured he'd Sucker Punch, and he does, which I'm just reading this guy like a book. So yeah, and I'm just gonna go for the Aerial Ace to take this thing out because if the defense drop, this thing will die. He goes into Scissor, which is like, oh great, a Scissor, I wonder what you're gonna do. So I go for the Roost again because I know, I go for the Taunt just to make sure this thing isn't SD, but it's banded because U-turn. Because Scissor is so predictable. So he goes back into Weavile, and I'm just going to switch out predicting the Ice Shard because I'm pretty sure this thing's banded now, because obvious. So back into Registeel again, Registeel takes it like a god, and now I'm just going to go for the Stealth Rocks because I can. And I figured the Hitmonlee would come back in, so I'm just going to go for that because I can't paralyze it because apparently it has Limber, which again I didn't know existed. So I'm just going to go for the Iron Hit here. I figured it'd kill me, but I actually live, which is hilarious. I was like gawking. I was like, wow, Registeel is a beast. And this thing's left for it, but not banded, which I also forgot to mention. So I actually live, which is funny, and I go for the Iron Hit, and I thought this build would KO because of the defense drop and the fact that Hitmonlee has like 6 defense or something, but it just doesn't. So I just switch out, hopefully use it for fodder later, and just go into Bork to take the close combat because the Bork is beast mode and just refuses to die. Like, Crobat just in so many ways, it just refuses to die. Like, it just won't die half the time. Yeah, So it goes into Scissor here, and I decided to stay in and see if he wants to over-predict again, but no, he just goes for Bullet Punch because he switches off to Scissor. He gon' Bullet Punch for show. So, Bullet Punch. Which means the Scissor is now set up fodder from Empoleon, and I go for the Agility, and it was no Flygon, which is Scarf, because every Flygon except mine is Scarf. So now I see he's probably going to go for the Earthquake because he's Scarfed, and I'm just, okay, fine, and now this is set up fodder for my Mikey here. So now I'm going to that, and I'm just going to set up with Mikey, so Dragon Dance. So I'm just totally playing him like a fiddle. So there goes my Dragon Dances, and he goes into Empoleon of his own, and I figure it's standard Empoleon. So I'm just gonna go for another DD, predicting the Agility or the Substitute, but he just goes straight for the Ice Beam, which is a smart move on his play. So down goes Mikey, unfortunately. But whatever. Yes, man. So down goes Mikey. Yes, go down. So I'm going to my Empoleon because Empoleon walls Empoleon. So I'm just gonna go for Surf because Empoleon Surf will do lots to Empoleon, and Empoleon's gonna go for Substitute. So lots of Empoleon action going around here. So I'm just going to go for Agility. So Empoleon could be faster than Empoleon, even though Empoleon already was faster. And at this point, I didn't realize that it's actually a speed tie, which is hilarious because we run different sets, and it just happens. I didn't even know how it's a speed tie because I run max speed, and my IVs are like 26 or something. So I don't even know how it's a speed tie, but it is. And I figured that out here because we both go for the Agility, as you can see, and now I'm just going to go for the Surf to finish off, and he outspeeds me there. I won every single speed tie except for that last one, which screwed me over because I thought it was faster the entire time, which just completely messed with me. So, Empoleon versus Empoleon, and it's a draw because I died a Life Orb, but I didn't really need a Life Orb, so definitely I could have won, but still. Agility sub versus Agility 3 attacks, it's tie, so whatever. And I go into Porygon 2 as he goes into Flygon after the double down. And I'm just going to stay in and go for the Tri-Attack, predicting him to switch, fearing the Ice Beam, and go into Scissor, and he does, which is awesome because I really need this damage on this thing, because this thing is a big threat to my team, unfortunately. So I kind of hope for any kind of status here, but anything would be nice, except for if he gets like a freeze and then the first turn D-Thaw, which would suck, but whatever. I don't get a status, so I have to go in. I go in the Mega to take the superpower because these things are so obvious in what they do. It's so hilarious just watching all these standard sets. And he gets a crit, which kind of, not really mattered, but under crit, kind of gay. So I go for the I go for the Bug Buzz, predicting some sort of switch, and I just do it. And Bug Buzz, Specs Buzz Bug, rapes the Weavile, just goes into it as fodder, I guess. So he's going to go into the Flygon now, which again, I know is Scarf, because every Flygon is Scarfed, and I'm just going to go into Registeel just as fodder, as he goes for the Outrage, and I'll take down Registeel. So Registeel living that little help didn't matter at all, because just foddered it out, didn't really need it to, whatever. So I'm going to Porygon 2, because Porygon 2 is epic, and because it's Scarf Flygon is so wimpy, it can't even kill my new Pokemon here, so I'm just gonna go for Recover to stall out the Outrages, and he's gonna get confused. He only gets 2 turns to Outrage, didn't matter at all, and now I'm just gonna go for the Tri-Attack, predicting the Scissor to come in because I'm smart like that. So he does switch, and goes in the Scissor again. I'm just gonna Tri-Attack again, and that's gonna take down the Scissor, which is big relief. So looking pretty good here because I don't know what his last Pokemon is, but I know Flygon cannot kill Quack at this point, so it's looking really good for me. And he shows his last Pokemon, which just has to be, yes, a Heatran. Something Quack just cannot deal with. He can only neutral it with Charge Beam and nothing else. And this thing is just, oh. So he goes for Fire Blast here, and it does a crap load. Like, look how much that does. This thing is Scarfed, obviously, because again, OU standard sets, it would be Scarfed. So I go for the Charge Beam stupidly. I should have just went for the Recover here. Now I'm just basically just going to keep on recovering as he keeps on Fire Blasting. I have to try to stall this thing on the Fire Blast PP. That's the only way I'm going to win this game. It's kind of gay on my part, but I kind of have to hope for those Fire Blast misses, because obviously he's going to have 8 PP, because he just has to have 8, because everyone has an infinite amount of PP maxes. So I'm just going to speed this part up and cue the music! So yeah, Quack 2.0 goes down. If I just got one more miss, I could have just stalled him out and forced him to struggle, because here I go into my last Pokemon here, yeah, Mega, and there he is struggling. So yeah, he had 8, which really pisses me off. So I go for Air Slash and I miss, which is useless because I already lost this game. And he goes for another struggle, which is funny, and I'm just going to Air Slash it and kill him, so at least it's a 1-0. So it goes into Flygon, which again, for the 3rd time, is Scarfed. It's going to be able to finish me off with Outrage, and that is a good game. So good game. Doomlord, I think, yeah, Doomlord 80 something. What is it? 86. Yes, 86. Good the game, and yeah, bye.